Hey guys, welcome back to another YouTube video. My name is Nathan Chan. I'm the CEO and publisher of Foundr magazine. And in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you how to actually monetize your podcast and make a full-time income from it. So you're probably thinking, who the hell is this guy? Why is he qualified to share with you about doing this? Well, at Foundr, we've got a podcast called the Foundr Podcast. We get millions of downloads every single year of that podcast. You know, every single episode gets tens of thousands of downloads per episode. So we're doing okay with our podcast, and we have monetized it in many different ways, and I've actually tried many different ways on how to monetize it. So I actually want to share that with you from an experience standpoint, from someone that's actually done it, and we've been running a podcast for like 4 years plus. So the first point that I want to share with you when it comes to monetizing your podcast is advertisers. Yes, you can monetize your podcast from advertisers, but what a lot of people don't tell you, or sometimes you think, oh, like I see these people all the time, I'm going to launch this podcast, I'm going to make all this money or a full-time income. Very, very difficult if you're just going to rely on advertisers. Why? Because from my experience, advertisers will not talk to you or want to work with you unless your podcast has at least 10,000 plus downloads per episode. That's per episode. So when it comes to advertising, I actually wanted to just do a quick formula to show you actually what the potential is, how much you could make from just standard podcast advertising industry rates. So I got here on my phone, the average across the industry for podcasts, doesn't matter the category, is for a 30-second CPM is $18, or a 60-second CPM is $25. Now, a CPM stands for cost per mile. So that's every 1,000 listeners. So now you can see what I was saying. You have to get at least 10,000 podcast listeners per episode to really make it worth your while, or to be able to generate a full-time income. So if we did the math right, so let's just say on your podcast you had a 30-second intro. So at the start of the podcast, before it starts, this podcast is sponsored by, that's your 30 seconds, so you'll get $18 per 1,000 downloads, or per 1,000 downloads. But then let's just say you want to max that out, so you do a 60-second mid-roll. So during the middle of the podcast, you'd also say, this podcast is sponsored by, check out this product XYZ. So you'd get a $25, you'd make $25 for every 1,000 downloads. So if we said, hypothetically, because round numbers are easy, your podcast gets 10,000 downloads per episode. Let's just say we type this in. So we go 18 plus 25. So that means we'd make $43 per 1,000 listens. So if we times that by 10, because 1,000 times 10 is 10,000, that's $430. So you would be making $430 from working with one advertiser, having a 30-second slot at the start and a 60-second slot at the middle. So $430 per episode. Let's just say you have a weekly show. We times that by 4. You'd be making $1,720 per month. So if we really wanted to jack that up, we're probably going to have to get 2 advertisers and have maybe 2 30-second slots and 1 60-second slot. But you can see how it becomes not that easy, because getting 10,000 downloads per episode, it is possible, but it's not that easy. So advertising isn't the number one way to actually monetize your podcast from my experience. I've actually played around with this stuff. We've actually worked with some big advertisers, with some big companies, like big SaaS companies that are making hundreds of millions of dollars every year, and we've worked with them. And I looked at it at the end, and we did we sold it like a 6-week package, so we do 6 episodes. And I looked at the numbers and I was like, we're probably better off selling our own products at Foundr, like our magazine subscriptions, our online courses and stuff like that. So that brings me to my second point. The other way that you can monetize your podcast is perhaps you can use both a combination of advertising and selling your own products. But preferably, from my experience, the best way is through selling your own products. So how the hell do you actually do that? Well, the way you do it is if you have a physical product, you want to give a coupon code. If you have a digital product, you want to be able to have some sort of lead magnet or free gift or something where you can capture that person's email or phone number. So then you can start, putting that person down your sales funnel or facilitating that relationship. Or the third thing is if you have a service-based business, you do high-ticket services or consulting or anything like that, you want to offer a free consultation. So you have a special link to sign up for a free consultation and people can book in a call. So one thing you guys might find interesting when it comes to the different products is one time we interviewed a sales trainer. Like, this guy's a legit founder, a master of sales, right? And he talked through his wholesale process. And one thing that he did, like, we interviewed him, but he came on our podcast. And one thing he did is he gave away a free PDF, right? And it was a free PDF for anyone listening on getting all the different hoops that you need to get people to go through when it comes to selling a product or a service. And I actually asked him quite candidly, I'm curious, how many consultations or how much work did you get from that particular podcast episode? And he said to me, Nathan, I'll be honest with you, I've got around $50,000 worth of work. Now, it wasn't all closed, but $50,000 worth of work in the mix. So this guy obviously sold high ticket consultations and sales training, but you can see where I'm going with this. Would you rather, if you've got, let's just say 10,000 downloads per episode, let's say you have 20, whatever, would you rather make a few $1,000s from selling advertising or potentially some big ticket deals, right? So this is the kind of thing you can be thinking about, because the key part is when it comes to building a podcast, building an audience, monetizing your podcast, you have a lot of trust with that audience. So the reason that a lot of advertisers would want to work with you, and it's so powerful having a podcast, is people are listening to you in their ear every single day. A lot of people do it while they're commuting. So there's so much trust. I've met so many people in the Foundr community, and it's like they know me. They know what's happening in my life. Sometimes I share that, if I'm really stressed out, etc., etc. So there's a lot of trust there. So a lot of advertisers are wanting to tap into that audience. And if you recommend a product, they can get a really strong return. So if you think about it, maybe it's a good thing to recommend one of your products, and you can get a really, really high conversion rate, or depending on your product, you might not need that many conversions if you have a high ticket product. So they're the different options. Now, what if I don't have a product, Nathan? Well, if you don't have a product, that kind of brings me to my third thing, is just you can sell other people's products. So what you want to be doing is you can look at a company like Bluehost that sell web hosting. You can sign up as an affiliate. You can be an affiliate for products. And a company like Bluehost, they do recurring affiliate deals and all sorts of things. So if somebody signs up and they stay on, you can continue to be paid over time. So that's something that could be potentially very lucrative for you. It's totally up to you, right, what affiliate deal you want to choose. And I don't recommend Bluehost. I'm just saying that's one that a lot of people always advertise on their podcast. And I honestly don't believe that Bluehost are paying them for that. They're just paying them if somebody buys. So you can monetize your podcast even if you don't have a product. From my perspective, it's better to sell your products from my experience with what we do at Foundr. So that's something to think about. So just to summarize, guys, the top 3 things that you want to be doing when it comes to monetizing your podcast is using advertising, selling your own products or services, or selling somebody else's. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you hit the like button. It helps us get this video found. Make sure you comment below, what's your biggest challenge with monetizing your podcast? Myself and the Foundr team respond to every single comment. And make sure you subscribe to this channel. If you enjoyed this video, we produce so many different videos around entrepreneurship. We interview some of the greatest entrepreneurs of our generation, and we're putting out videos every single week to help you build and grow a successful business. So I hope you enjoyed this one, guys. I'll see you in another video.
The Foundr mission is to help you create an ass-kicking business and help you learn straight from the mouths of world-class founders. Get your free printed edition of Foundr magazine featuring Sir Richard Branson. Just cover shipping and handling at foundr.com/Branson.